So, we don't have any oversight over these hospitals, or not hospitals, universities that are doing studies on like little children and cancer. These universities have no oversight, because really who their oversight would be your HHS, Health and Human Services. And it's obvious within the past few years, clearly because of CDC and Health and Human Services, that they are not legit institutions to trust because of their blatant just tyranny they placed on the public, and doing so many things that don't, that they just say is about science and it's not. They still haven't come to tell the truth about the true healing powers of ivermectin, have they? No, they sure haven't. It's still just a horse dewormer, except the PubMed, which is a governmental science site, their papers say otherwise, as I recently did a video on both of my TikTok channels. But of course, I'm silenced. In fact, I took down my second TikTok channel, and I'll probably take down my first, because what's the point anymore? But they're doing, Yale has a big study wanting, tracking and registering and all with all these kids and cancer. And I mean little kids. So why are little kids getting cancer? And where is the oversight for us to know that has the number dropped at all in the amount of children, I mean little children, that have cancer? All I could really find is that from 2015 to, I think it was 2021, there's been they make it like this is such a great thing the science did. They're able to allow children to have a 5-year more chance of living. I wonder how many of those children they've used ivermectin on. So there's no oversight over any of these universities, and I've made a big point of saying that these are the biggest problems we have. I see them as a bigger threat than China. If I don't even see China as a threat, the globalists I see as a threat, and the globalists are all over these universities, and there's no oversight over them. And given that your Epstein was and Gates were very much into the science research, funding it, being involved in it. And yet these were also people, at least Epstein, of course, that was heavily involved with doing things to children. So I don't think any of these studies they're doing, I don't care who the scientists are. They likely don't even know what they're doing. Something has to be done. I think that all studies for every university should be, a stop should be put to them until there can be some sort of oversight committee, and it would be impossible to put one together, right? Because it would be all your globalists that would make sure that they're on it so that they can protect the science. I said these people will go balls to the wall to protect the science. The problem is that when you're dealing with them having the children in these research studies, it's very sick and depraved, and we have to do something about it. And because you can't, we once could trust HHS and just assumed, like most of the public, that these studies are legit because these are science people and they would never do you wrong. But I don't think most of them even realize it. But this has to stop. We need to know what the true number of little babies is that has cancer, and why it is that they have cancer too would be even more. There's a whole lot of studies that should be done, but not involved in their research and they're developing whatever new thing they want to do, but knowing exactly how much worse cancer's gotten because of the science. Because I believe it's gotten worse, especially for children. There has to be a stop put to them, these universities, and I don't know how you do that, because our whole government, along with all your 3-letter agencies, and that's including CDC, HHS, all of them, they all work for them. They all do the bidding for a bunch of commie globalists, and yet I think we need to have a true accounting of how many children are at 4 or 5 years old developing lesions, and why is that happening? Instead of doing research and registering and following children in certain studies, what are they doing? Because clearly the science has shown that in every area cancer has gotten worse. It has not improved. And yet they lied about ivermectin. If you have people involved in research that also were involved in abusing children on an island, say, with a bunch of lawyers, doctors, Hollywood, your most elites, right, that visited Little St. James Island, then do you think it's not going on in the universities? It is. And we need to start speaking up about it. We need to have a true accounting of how many children actually have cancer and develop it like at 5, and find out why it is the science is doing all their stupid bullshit research, and why they're not figuring, why they, after all these years, couldn't find a cure, because they fail. They're not looking for cures. That's why. Which is why I'm silenced on everything, because that's the one thing, like I said in a video last night, that's the one thing they're going to protect. But Yale has this cancer study in children, and they're registering these. It's like they're tracking. I don't like it. I don't like it because these were, Epstein was all involved in this stuff, and we don't have any oversight in our government at any level that shows any ability to have any ethical or moral compass whatsoever. I pray to God. I pray, God, please put a stop to these people. Put a stop to these universities and their studies, most especially on children.